Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
Here at the News at Noon show, we assemble the best and most interesting news from the area, and Jerry Tope brings you the local weather and related news. Give us a call with news tips or topics you'd like to see covered. The number is 677-4119.
We're glad you tuned in to watch DCTV. Today's show is live on Monday at noon and rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Thursday at noon, 3 and 6.
Coming up, a Summit Lake death, murder ruled out. Governor Hickenlooper in Cortez signed water rights law for growing hemp. A large structure fire in Durango, and more.
And also 3 homicide suspects, the charter school, Bill with weather, the sheriff's report, and area happenings. Today is May 22nd, 2017, and now the news at noon. A follow-up to last week's coverage of the woman's death at Summit Lake from the Cortez Journal. The death of a Mancos woman whose body was found in Summit Lake on May 12th was likely an accident, according to investigators at the Montezuma County Sheriff's Office. An autopsy was performed last Thursday to determine the cause of death for Madeline Scott, age 57, whose vehicle was also found at the bottom of the lake near a boat ramp. Montezuma County Detective Jason Williams said the autopsy showed no signs of trauma and no indication of foul play has been found on the vehicle. The case remains under investigation, but the sheriff's office is now investigating it as an accidental drowning. The next step in the investigation, Williams said, will be to pull the computer from Scott's 2016 Toyota Corolla and try to determine when it went into the lake. Williams said he is working with a Colorado State Patrol trooper to analyze the vehicle evidence, and he's expected more concrete results soon. According to investigation, Scott arrived at the lake Thursday evening after leaving her home in Mancos. She liked to go up and relax at Summit Lake and kind of clear her mind when she was upset about something, and she was upset that day, Williams said, citing information he'd received from family members. He said there is evidence alcohol was involved in Scott's death, but the sheriff's office is awaiting the results of a toxicology report to confirm whether she was intoxicated at the time. The Summit Lake boat ramp and dam were closed to the public on Friday while law enforcement investigated the area, but they were opened again that night after the vehicle was pulled from the water.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, 3 people arrested in connection with a shooting death at a mobile home park 3 miles west of Durango were advised of their rights and possible charges Thursday in La Plata County Combined Courts. In a procedural hearing that never left script, Kevin Goff, age 27, Michael Jones, 19, and Elise Rios, age 19, were informed of the first-degree murder counts, which are punishable by life in prison or the death penalty. All 3 suspects wore shackles and jail-issued jumpsuits. None showed obvious signs of emotion. They answered routine questions from La Plata County Judge Martha Minot with a simple yes, ma'am. Defense lawyers postponed bail arguments for a later date, meaning the 3 are being held without bail at the La Plata County Jail. The trio is suspected of being involved in the death of David Antonio Gayton, age 34, of Durango, who suffered a gunshot wound at about 11:35 a.m. Sunday at a friend's home in the Lightner Creek Mobile Home Park, 907 Lightner Creek Road, or County Road 207. Witnesses reported hearing a possible gunshot and seeing 2 men and a woman leave the home in a black sedan with Texas license plates, according to the La Plata County Sheriff's Office. Witnesses also provided a partial license plate number, which was broadcast to law enforcement throughout the region. The Colorado State Patrol identified a vehicle matching the description Sunday night near Salida, about 200 miles northeast of Durango. Troopers arrested all 3 suspects. The La Plata County Sheriff's Office has not disclosed a possible motive for the shooting, and the 6th Judicial District Attorney's Office filed arrest affidavits under seal, making them unavailable for public inspection. Arrest affidavits typically include brief narratives that demonstrate probable cause for making an arrest. District Attorney Christian Champagne did not respond to a request for comment Thursday about why the affidavits were filed under seal. Formal charges are expected to be filed June 9th against Goff and Rios. A bail hearing is expected to be held at the same time.
This past weekend, last-minute word got out that Governor John Hickenlooper was on a bill signing tour around the state, and one of his stops was going to be in Cortez at the newly renovated City Hall to sign Bill 17-117 into law. DCTV was on hand to await the always exciting event of having the state's governor make an appearance in southwest Colorado. The last time Governor Hickenlooper was here, according to one source, was in 2012 at the Dolores River Festival, again in conjunction with a state's water rights issue. This weekend's appearance was in collaboration with several government officials, including bill sponsors, state legislature representatives Senator Don Coram, Republican from Montrose, and Representative Mark Catlin, Republican also from Montrose, representing District 58. The third prime sponsor on the bill was Representative Donald Valdez, a Democrat from District 62. The bill's title is To Recognize Industrial Hemp Agricultural Product for Agricultural Water Right. Its summary states it is concerning confirmation that industrial hemp is a recognized agricultural product for which a person with a water right decreed for agricultural use may use the water subject to the water right for industrial hemp cultivation. Generally translated, the intent is to authorize the use of Colorado water on an agricultural crop, and given the 2014 Farm Bill's definition of industrial hemp as an agricultural crop, water may be used on such crop in accordance with all the other regulations already set in place for registration and testing reviews. Water Conservancy General Manager Mike Preston was also on hand. He told DCTV that he had written a letter in support of allowing our customers to use water to grow hemp and provided detailed information to Senator Coram the evening before he brought the argument to the legislature. There had been strong opposition at first. However, as the bill passed 99-1, you'd have to agree that the basis for Colorado water rights was nearly unanimously supported in the form of this bill. Representative Catlin said, "This was a natural bill for me to co-sponsor because hemp does have the potential to make a profit. And in this day and age in agriculture, with the conditions we've got in our markets, this is an opportunity that I thought we should not pass by." He continued, "It's said from the federal government, water is Colorado's purview. We've got those water rights under state law. We'll administer them under state law." Governor Hickenlooper expressed his support of how Colorado is leading the nation in the industrial hemp market. He said, "As of last year in Colorado, we had over 5,800 acres of hemp cultivation, which is roughly half of the entire hemp crop in the United States." Senator Coram added that this is likely to double this year. Representative Catlin continued, "This community had said we're going to raise it like it or not. I'm really proud to support the agricultural community. Here in Dolores County, there are currently no hemp growing permits registered with the state for this year. However, there is a growing movement with the Four Corners Hemp Growers Association Cooperative, recently established by a Dove Creek resident in anticipation of future acreage being turned to hemp production in the area. The Dolores County Development Corporation, or DCDC, according to Chairperson Gus Westerman, is still waiting to receive the anticipated lease application and business plans from Bayfront Capital in Florida, who have expressed a desire to repurpose the dormant sunflower crushing plant and cement plant into a hemp processing and hempcrete facility in Weber Business Park on the west side of Dove Creek.
According to the Cortez Journal, a Durango woman who caused a head-on crash that killed her 8-year-old daughter pleaded guilty Thursday to careless driving causing injury and careless driving resulting in death. Naisha Candelaria, age 33, faces probation to 1 year in prison for each count after signing a plea agreement with the 6th Judicial District Attorney's Office. Sentencing is set for July 20th before District Judge Suzanne Carlson. Candelaria was driving a 2005 blue Chevrolet Uplander north on La Plata Highway, Colorado Highway 140, just before 8:30 a.m., April 18, 2016, when she hit a patch of snow and ice, crossed the center line, and collided head-on with a 2009 Kia Sorento, according to the Colorado State Patrol. She had 5 children in the car, ages 1, 5, 7, 8, and 9, none of whom appeared to have proper restraints, according to the State Patrol. At least 3 children were thrown from the vehicle, including Mia Martinez, who died at the scene, 1.6 miles north of the New Mexico state line. The driver of the Kia, Mindy Walk, age 38 at the time of Hesperus, was taken to Mercy Regional Medical Center.
The Durango Herald reports that flames engulfed a building on the site of a planned hotel on Camino del Rio around midnight on Sunday, shooting flames into the night sky as smoke billowed through downtown Durango. About 30% of the building at 1111 Camino del Rio was ablaze when firefighters arrived moments after getting the call, Fire Marshal Carola Hanks said. By 1 a.m. Monday, firefighters were concentrating on the south end of the building in an effort to keep the fire from spreading. It's going to be pretty hot for a while, Hanks said. We won't get any investigation done until it cools down. The Durango Fire Protection District had multiple hoses on the fire and multiple ladder trucks at the scene. Smoke was infiltrating buildings downtown, and Hanks said any structure with windows open or air intakes would likely have smoke inside. Camino del Rio was closed from 9th Street to 12th Street, and side streets from Main Avenue leading to it also were shut down. The building was recently vacated by about a dozen businesses and was to be torn down to make way for an 86-room hotel. Hanks said firefighters searched the building and found no one inside. The sale of the building, just south of Natural Grocers, closed March 31st, former owner Judge John Breger said in April. The hotel plans were approved the following week by the City Planning Commission. Hanks said all of the businesses had moved out by May 17th, and demolition of the building was expected to begin around June 1st. Businesses that had to move included the Rock Lounge, Sacred Space, Happy Nails, Durango Rafting, Cloud9 Head Shop, and Animas Herbal Wellness Center. Missouri-based Central Design Group proposed the hotel, but it has not announced what brand of hotel will move into the building. During a meeting, a company representative did say it would be one of the top brands in the country.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, drug crimes are up and traffic stops are down in Montezuma County, and Sheriff Steve Nowlin says he doesn't have the manpower to reverse either trend. Nowlin attributed the trends mainly to a growing population, delayed response times, a shortage of patrol deputies, and more readily available drugs. Criminals know that we're short-handed and that it takes us a lot longer to respond to a certain location, Nowlin said. That puts people in jeopardy. He presented the data covering 2013 through 2016 in unincorporated parts of the county to the Montezuma County Board of Commissioners on May 15th. He told commissioners that he plans to ask to hire more deputies soon. The data comes from the FBI Uniform Crime Reporting Program, which distinguishes between Part 1 felonies such as murder, arson, and rape, and Part 2 crimes such as petty theft and traffic violations. The two categories are further broken down into crimes against people, property, and society. Property crimes were the most commonly reported, with 313 cases of burglary, theft, motor vehicle theft, and arson reported in 2016. 92 crimes against a person, which include assault, were reported, along with 84 crimes against society, which include drug charges. The most common violent crime in 2016 was assault, with 69 cases reported. Violent crimes have gone up and down over the past 4 years. More assaults were reported in 2016 than in 2015, but far fewer than in 2014. Theft and drug crimes, on the other hand, have doubled since 2013. Nowlin attributed the increase in drug-related crimes partly to the 2014 legalization of recreational marijuana, which, he said, can function as a gateway drug or intoxicant. However, drugs like heroin and methamphetamine, which typically come from outside Colorado, are a bigger problem. Nowlin said more heroin, in particular, has been smuggled into the county in the past year. And now here's our weather report.
DCTV country will have sunny, warmer weather and no moisture is expected until Thursday night. A high-pressure system is in the process of setting up, and that's good for drying things out. Winds will be 10 to 15 today and 5 to 15 tonight, and that pattern will repeat through Wednesday. Temperatures will be just barely below norms till Wednesday, and that will be the highest of the week. So an upper 70s for Wednesday will be our warmest and seasonally normal temperature. Wednesday will see an increase in clouds as a strong cold front moves across the northern Rockies Wednesday night and Thursday. That will bring chances of showers, a little bit cooler temperatures, and will be the beginning of a series of short waves with unsettled weather through the weekend. By Wednesday's broadcast, the details should be clearer. There are two areas of excitement in the national forecast. The Texas Panhandle is in for severe thunderstorms today, and most of the Gulf Coast is in for enough rain that flash flooding is possible. A front reaching from the lower Great Lakes to the southeast and the central and western Gulf Coast will linger through Tuesday evening. Showers and thunderstorms will occur along and ahead of the boundary for those areas through tomorrow evening. Rain will develop over the northern mid-Atlantic and into the northeast and will move off the New England coast by Tuesday afternoon. Today we'll see rain over parts of the upper Mississippi Valley and upper Great Lakes through evening. Remnants of the system over the central Rockies will move eastward into the southern plains overnight. Showers and thunderstorms over parts of the central and southern high plains will move eastward to the middle Mississippi Valley and the southern plains by evening. Showers and thunderstorms will develop over parts of the middle Missouri Valley into the northern plains this afternoon and move into the Great Lakes and western Ohio Valley today as well. These showers and thunderstorms will continue over parts of the upper Great Lakes, western Ohio Valley and middle Mississippi Valley to the southern plains and western Gulf Coast into tomorrow evening as well. Our high temps this week will be all in and all over the 70s, start low and end low, with Wednesday being the warmest. Lows will follow the same pattern, only in and all over the 40s, with Wednesday night hitting almost 50. That might feel like camp-out weather, except that Thursday will cloud up and give chances of showers in the night. Winds 5 to 15 miles per hour day or night through Wednesday. And now back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, a driver led law enforcement officers on a chase down Montezuma County Road G late Friday afternoon after being apprehended about 4 miles from the Utah state line. The chase began near Battle Rock School about 4:15 p.m. Friday after a caller reported suspicious behavior from a driver in a white Ford minivan, Montezuma County Undersheriff Jim Kingery said at the scene. Law enforcement officers were told there was a man, woman, boy, and girl in the vehicle. Our main concern was the safety of the children, Montezuma County Sergeant John Hancock said. Kingery and Hancock did not provide details about the identity of the driver or the passengers. The driver headed west from Battle Rock but was eluding officers and turned around heading east toward Cortez, Hancock said. The driver turned around again and began heading west and was apprehended several miles west of Battle Rock, near the state line. The driver narrowly avoided a collision with another car when he performed a U-turn on the road, Hancock said. Kingery said officers were able to stop the driver and box in the vehicle to prevent further movement. Officers contacted the driver, who was placed in custody after contacting family members to pick up the children. Initially, Cortez Police Sheriff's deputies and the Colorado State Patrol were involved in the pursuit. Cortez police were called off the pursuit, and about a half-dozen State Patrol and Sheriff's officers were at the scene of the arrest. A Cortez fire truck and Southwest Memorial Hospital ambulance also responded. A Sheriff's Patrol vehicle sustained minor damage during the chase, Kingery said.
We finally have a CO2 report for the week of May 7th through the 13th. Levels are reported at 409.28. The previous week was 409.13. And 1 year ago, the second week of May in 2016 was 407.77. And 10 years back was 386.48. Hopefully the 14th to the 20th will show up this week as well. Sometimes it's hard to understand the scale of things we've never personally seen. The size of Mount Everest, the depth of the oceans, and how much ice there is in Antarctica. So when we talk about rising ocean temperatures and global warming, how do we get a sense of scale? Lake Superior, for instance, contains 3,000 cubic miles of water, average depth 489 feet, enough to fill all the other Great Lakes plus Lake Erie 3 times over. The Great Lakes together contain 21% of the Earth's fresh lake water. But honest bragging is not kosher, since Lake Baikal all by itself contains 20%, average depth 2,486.88 feet, not quite half a mile. Baikal contains 5,670 cubic miles of water. So, southern Siberia can brag. Well, maybe not. Where is most of the world's fresh water stored, do you think? We've shared news on the freshening of the ocean water due to Antarctic and Arctic ice melt. This last year, Antarctica had its highest temperatures on record in 3 zones. March 24th posted 63.5 degrees near the northern tip of its peninsula, significant for iceberg melting, and 19.4 degrees on plateaus at an elevation of 8,202 feet. Getting a better grip on how global warming might impact the world's largest ice mass is more than academic interest. Spanning an area twice the size of Australia, Antarctica's ice sheet is 2.98 miles thick. Now let's see, Australia is about 2.97 million square miles to Antarctica's 5.4 million square miles. Now multiply that 5.4 times 3 for thickness of that ice. I'll subtract then some for the air in that ice. Oh well, shucks, it's still a lot of water. And yes, Virginia, the melting of ice on the water in the Antarctic basin has already affected ocean salinity. It may look like small potatoes one day as the Antarctic landmass has also warmed and has begun to green and moss is growing better. This ice sheet contains 90% of the world's fresh water altogether. Puny lakes? Bah, humbug. If only Antarctica or the Arctic could talk. That's enough to raise sea levels by about 60 meters times 3 feet, plus an extra 3 inches per. That's a lot to melt. The continent, Western Peninsula, close to the tip of South America, is also already among the fastest warming regions on the planet, heating up by 5.4 degrees Fahrenheit over the last half century, 3 times the global average. It's a lot of water to boil potatoes with.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, the controversial topic of equitable funding for Colorado charter schools was put to rest for the 2017 legislative session Wednesday with the passage of a bill on the distribution of local mill levy dollars. House Bill 1375, which requires school districts to allocate to charter schools at least 95% of the per pupil funding from mill levies, was introduced Monday in the House and passed Wednesday by the Senate on a 31-4 vote. As an alternative, districts are allowed to design a plan for the equitable distribution of their mill levy funding with all schools, including charters. The plan must be completed by 2019 or 2020 fiscal year and applies to mill levies approved in 2016 and going forward. The inclusion of past levies drew the ire of opponents who saw it as an attempt to undermine the will of voters who approved overrides in November. That, to me, is disingenuous to the public, said Senator Nancy Todd, Democrat of Aurora. Proponents of the bill, including Dan Snowberger, superintendent of Durango School District 9R, argued that HB 1375 is an important step in solving shortcomings of a financing program that favors some students over others based on which classrooms they sit in. He added that the bill does not affect 9R as it shares the funding from its most recent ballot issue, 3A, with charter schools.
More parks and recreation trail maintenance is planned for the Cortez area, according to the Cortez Journal report. In the latest park project planned for this year, the Cortez Parks Recreation and Forestry Advisory Council recently discussed possible improvements to the trails in the Carpenter and Gear natural areas. Al Schneider, a local wildflower expert, spoke to the council about the importance of protecting the wildlife in the parks and reducing the damage done by cyclists and hikers who leave the trail. The council discussed possibilities for improving trail maintenance and signage in the area. Although the council didn't decide a course of action at the meeting, Parks and Recreation Director Dean Palmquist said he plans to apply for a Great Outdoors Colorado grant to pay for trail improvements. Schneider said that there are about 120 species of plant life in the Gear and Carpenter natural areas, and as trail traffic increases, more of those plants have been trampled and damaged. As an example, he mentioned the Gear Park Trail series of foot races, which ended May 6, and how someone had sprayed potentially harmful paint on the ground to mark the race route. Palmquist said some of the issues with the trails will be an easy fix. Advisory Board Chairman Paul Adams brought up the new access to Gear Natural area that was opened on May 6 from Mildred Road, noting that it will have a sign to determine path directions and the like. He said he hopes to eventually build a path around the entire Gear Natural area specifically for hikers who don't want to deal with two-wheel traffic. But he said he didn't think it was necessary to prohibit hikers on bike trails or vice versa. Although Palmquist said he agreed with Schneider that the parks need more stay-on-trail signs, he said the Parks Department could also prevent damage to native plants by periodically planting their seeds farther away from the trails. He said he's working with the Montezuma Inspire Coalition, a GoCo funding project, to apply for a $1.5 million state grant later this summer. Some of that money could be used for signage and better trail maintenance, he said. Palmquist said he also believes the trails could be improved even without state money, though since many of the existing trails and signs were created by volunteers from the community, and he believes people will step up again in the future. Schneider also praised the council for their work on the natural areas.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of May 15th through the 21st. An anonymous caller reported a loud party in town. A deputy responded to patrol town and was unable to locate any disturbance. A report was made of juveniles taking cigarette butts off of a town resident's porch. A deputy responded and spoke to several suspected juveniles and parents about the incident. A driver was arrested for a probation violation after a routine traffic stop on Highway 491. That's it for today's Roundup. Stay tuned for continuing updates.
For today's High Canyon Country happenings, next Thursday, June 1st, kicking off Animas River Days at the Animas City Theater, it will feature short films from local paddlers who have great adventures both locally and all over the world. The feature film is Chasing Niagara. Pro kayaker Rafa Ortiz pursues his dream to paddle over Niagara Falls. Tickets are $12 in advance and $14 at the door. Tickets for sale at Four Corners River Sports, or for more information, visit animasriverdays.com. Another meet and greet with your local farmers participating in the Southwest Farm Fresh CSA. The Cooperative's multi-farm CSA program is underway. They invite you to come learn how to get great local food products every week, June through October. Socialize with the farmers and learn about the CSA. This one is taking place on Tuesday, May 23rd at 6 p.m. in Durango at the El Moro Spirits and Tavern on 945 Main Avenue. A reminder, the one on Wednesday will be in Cortez at the Wild Edge Brewery on North Market Street. For details on the co-op, visit them online on Facebook at Southwest Farm Fresh or call 304-540-5442. A job and resource fair will be held May 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Montezuma County Fairgrounds to help the workers of the Western Excelsior plant to get back to work. It's open to the general public to attend and hosted by the Cortez Workforce Center. For details on the center, call 970-565-3759 or visit them online anytime at yourworkforcecenter.com. All of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the embedded YouTube replays, weather and original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119, and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. This program airs live at noon Monday through Wednesday, then it is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m., and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It has all the links and details with original stories and video replays. Please like us there and share the link.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.